Johnson, and this is focused on Liberia. Hit it! From Cape Mount to Cape Palmer, mountain back to Atlantic Ocean, Obomi Hills to Country, to educate, elevate, and promote. Talk about home affairs, hey, in diaspora, current affairs, hey, reliable information, history, ooh, talking about culture, hey, politics, education, entertainment, business, sports, advertisement, articulation. Focus on Liberia. Focus on Liberia. Focus on Liberia. From Monday to Sunday.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Focus on Liberia. This is FOL Live on Kear Radio. My name is Dennis Jar, and we are broadcasting from Atlanta, Georgia. Today, our topic, legitimacy and state authority, central government and traditional authority. That's what we're going to be talking about. Let me welcome producer at Kear Radio, James T. Wakwe. James, welcome to the show.
Thank you so kindly, and I'd like to say welcome to our guests and our listeners for today's edition.
And our guest is Dr. Mohammed A. Sharif. He's a legal and public policy expert. Dr. Sharif, welcome to the show as well.
Thank you, Dennis and James Walkway.
You gotta put ours, James T. Walkway.
Thank you.
All right. So, listeners, I want to say welcome to another edition of Focus on Liberia live on Kear Radio. I'm your host, as you heard, Dennis Jar, and I'm honored to guide today's conversation on a topic that sits at the heart of Liberia's governance and cultural identity, that is legitimacy and state authority, the central government, and traditional authority. As Liberia continues to navigate its post-conflict recovery and democratic consolidation, the relationship between formal state institutions and traditional leadership remains both complex and vital. Today, or if you're in Liberia, I will say tonight, we will explore how these two systems interact, where they clash, and how they might harmonize for the benefits of peace, development, and cultural preservation. Joining us, as I told you earlier, is Dr. Mohammed Sharif, a seasoned public policy expert whose insights have shaped national dialogue on governance and civic inclusion. Dr. Sharif will help us unpack key questions around the relationship between state authorities and traditional leaders, the role of customary law in Liberia's peace process, balancing economic growth with cultural heritage, navigating international obligations while honoring indigenous traditions, and how security protocols intersect with community custom. Whether you are tuning in from Harper in Maryland County, Monrovia, Liberia, or you are in the diaspora, this conversation is for you. Stay tuned, share your thoughts, and let's engage while envisioning a stronger future for our country. Dr. Sharif, I gave a long or formal introduction there. But if you help us to start, when we say legitimacy and state authority, central government and traditional authority, what will you say? How will you explain that to the ordinary John Wisa in Morovia?
Okay, thank you, Dennis. For the benefit of those who listening to this, I did not grab this from outside, or this is part of actually my doctoral thesis, my PhD thesis in public policy. So this is just an extract, a portion that was made for article, so it's what we will be discussing. So when we talk about legitimacy and state authority, and then the relationship between the central government and traditional leaders, legitimacy is a, a situation wherein you are accepted as an authority, not on the basis of only coercion. Like you are born into a family, your eyes open, you see your ma in the house, you see the pa in the house, you see big brother. So you know that, okay, this is an order of family. There's a father, there's a mother, there's a big brother, there's uncles and cousins. That is uh, legitimately a family unit. When we come to the aspect of state legitimacy, that throws us back to the foundation of the state of Liberia, way back in 1847, or way back from 1846, going to statehood, how, you know, the American Colonization Society got the land, negotiated it, and then later on tried to expand to own land. And so that during that time and up to this time, the relationship between those who were within Liberia, the indigenous nationals, and those who came with the Western form of governance system had that difference, and that difference has defined the way Liberia has been ruled over time. And in terms of legitimacy, you think about coercion is another form of legitimacy where the government will send police, it will send soldiers, and later on impose its will. And then there's another soft power of coercive legitimacy by governments, wherein government paying you, like it happening now, paying the chiefs and traditional leaders, it's a soft power of coercion. And then there's legitimacy, the ability to accept you that, okay, you are our leader, we will work with you, whatever you say. And so that is what we're looking at, the traditional leaders and the government, what the relationship between them and how it working.
So let me ask you, how will you describe the current collaboration between the central government institutions and traditional leadership structures in Liberia? And I like how you said, because we got to trace the historicity of all this, but let me get your thoughts on that collaboration. How will you describe it?
Okay, from my research, when we look back from 1912, um, how Liberia started to develop the relationship. Some of the customary laws were accepted and some were banned. Liberia has uh, linguistically two kinds of people, the Mande speaking group and the Kwa. That is in the north and in the southeast. And so traditionally, in the north, you have predominantly the Poro and the Sunday Society, and then in the south, what is there now remaining is the Bo or Bodio traditional society. Other ones do exist, but those are the few powerful ones that remain within Liberia, for which they shape the customary justice system of Liberia. And so pre uh,
So
To
you have
this time,
the mandate, the male, and the crew speaking.
yeah. So when you
So
talk about when you talk about the Mande speaking group, that involves the Vai, the Bandi, the Mende, the Pele, the Madingo, the Mano, the
there's
Loma.
a male MEL in between there. But
Yes,
let's go ahead.
the male is the Kisi and partly the Bele and the Bele and Gula. Those fall within the male. So the 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 Kwa speaking group are largely all of them come from the Niger Congo languages. So for the Kwa, you have the crew, you have the Sapo, the various groups fall within that. Those are within the coastal belts of Liberia. So um, they practice
Mm.
different forms of traditional culture. Uh, One important thing people need to know that the Basa also practice the Poro, like just like the other languages. Also, the Madingo practice the Poro. It's over time that a lot of conversion took place to Islam, and it reduced among the Madingos in Liberia. But yes, the Madingos way back practiced the Poro as well as the Mano and all other languages. So just like the 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 Mande and the Mel did. So the basis of the customary justice system is based on is tied to this, and that's why you have the Hinterland Act that existed, uh, which brought about the dual legal system of Liberia, using one constitution but two legal system: the customary justice system and the statutory form of justice system, which is what was brought from America or imitated from America. So this these are the two forms of ways that Liberians access justice.
Thank you. So currently now, and we have this dual justice system. But
Yeah.
to what extent is that practice? Is it to what extent do we have that? Do they actually operate side by side, or one is subordinate to the other?
So what happened over time? You see, the customary justice system had existed. And so during the time Tubman took over 1945, around that 46, he knew that in order to be able to work with the people in the other counties that were not conquered, he had to work through the customary justice system and through the traditional societies. So Tubman himself became a member of the Poro for him to be accepted as one of them, so that whatever he says to the traditional leaders, they will listen to him. So that's the aspect of legitimacy. That's how he started. And subsequently, most Liberian presidents have become member of the Poro. You see, even Charles Taylor went to the level of being Dakpana, although he didn't reach level 8 by the Poro uh, order. He didn't reach there, but he was part of the Poro. He joined the Poro, and later on, Chief Jalal Loan made him a Dapana. So
So
we see that yeah.
go ahead.
So we see that the customary justice system basically is built around the traditional societies. In these traditional societies, the customary justice system has both the criminal justice system and the civil procedure law, which under the customary justice system, civil procedure law is where we have the palava hut, the cola nut. Something happened, they go talk it under the palava hut and resolve it, and so on. Wherein they break cola or they find you with chicken, this, that, and then then you give it and apologize and confess for what you did. And then the customary justice system also had the criminal justice procedure, which was the Sassewood. In order for the state to subordinate the the customary form of justice, they tried to ban this as a wood. And this was one of the areas that brought friction, and it still exists. Because
Mm.
in those days, with the implementation of the Sassewood form of criminal procedure law in the customary justice system, it was swift, it was straightforward, and from research, it has shown that it maintains stability. And that's the reason why every male freeborn in the north, northwest, northeast, west, and so on had to become a member of the Porous Society, for which you some in those days it used to be 5 years. It came down to 4 years, 3 years, 1 year, and so on. So that was where people were taught the customary justice procedure, what should be
Mm.
done, how a male should behave, and how your obligation to your state, civil liberties, civil procedure, and the penalties for going against a, a, a law that had existed. Similarly, the women went to the Sunday Society and they were given that kind of instruction, how to manage a family, how to engage in communities, the behavior of a woman, and what a woman should do. And in fact, women were highly respected in those days because um, men were taught that a woman that has been to Sunday Society can come and stay, and you sitting down as a man. As long as you're not a chief or elder, you need to give that woman respect, because women symbolically are a representation of the spirit world. They connect the living and the dead. And so the women, by virtue of their power to reproduce, made them a very powerful connection. That you will see somebody die, a powerful chief die, you hear the chief say, somebody had dreams, say, oh, I will come, but I will come through so person. How is that chief returning? The chief will come through what? A woman who will get pregnant and give birth, and you will see exactly the character of that chief in that little child, in that late child. You say, oh, that the chief, that in there, you see the character in it. So for us Africans, or customary justice system believes in reincarnation and cosmology, what the spirit world says. And so that informed the customary justice system. In But what happened over time when they banned the Sasewu, the criminal justice system uh, became very long. When something happened, you will go, it's adversarial. They will not go deep into it. The criminal justice system, I have a legal background, looks at the facts and the law. So, and in this, by the time a proceeding ends in the criminal justice system, somebody going, they're happening. But why in the customary justice system, peace is paramount. How to hold the community together is the most important thing for the customary justice system, because they don't want to rule on a case at the end, it divides the community.
Right. So, so
But in the Mhm.
in
Go
what
ahead.
ways now do traditional leaders contribute to governance and dispute resolution at the local level?
You see, like I told you, the civil procedure law about the Palava Hut. Something happened. The chiefs in the towns and villages, they know almost everybody, and that's the reason why for somebody to be chief, whether section chief, town chief, clan chief, becoming paramount chief, you must be a resident of that place. You must have been part of the culture, understand how it works, and then you can't rule people that you don't know them and they don't know you. you have to be a member of the society. You understand the historical context and historical problems that existed. For example, something happened today, a land dispute, then they send the case to court, like in Sakepie, what was happening before the land dispute. People who don't know the historical context of that land dispute, you just rule on the basis of what the law says. That is what the statutory enactment says. But for the customary people, land ownership determines who you are and your right to that community. And so it's important that when you are adjudicating a case as a chief, you should have been someone that know that place, live in that place, either born in that place, and understand the complexities that exist. So right now, the chiefs, because they understand uh, the environment, when you carry a case to the Palava Hut, they try to settle it.
Mm.
Uh, like, oh, this person go to my land to farm. So. In fact, under the customary justice system, you can come from different town to come make farm close to another town. It has to have the approval of the chiefs and elders. And there are complex land cases that can be discussed in town. It has to be discussed by the borough council. They discuss those things with the other elders and agree on it and come up with a resolution that nobody dare to challenge. But
So,
with the
what I'm
recent enactments of laws by the state penetration, state legitimacy, the state will impose rules, say we say this so. And that goes against, once it goes against the interest of the traditional leaders, the legitimacy of the state is not accepted. They will not go by it. So that's the reason why you see certain laws that the state pass, but it's not happening in communities on that side because the people don't accept it. There's no legitimacy. So the relationship between the state and traditional leaders is not too good. It's manageable at this time, but
That's
it's
what
not
I was about
strong.
to say. You are saying as of now it's manageable, but there's a clash because what I'm understanding you to say is the state has in effect destroyed traditional leadership or the values. So because of that, there is a gap
Exactly.
when law.
So one of the ways that the state is destroying or undermining the legitimacy of the traditional leadership, which in turn is damaging the legitimacy of the state, is this. Politicians or political leaders or government will go and make agreements or sign up to international protocols without understanding that these international protocols have implication on the cultural systems of the people they are serving. So
Okay.
when they come, they will take it to the House of Legislature, the Parliament, let's say the lower house and the upper house, and they ratify it, and it becomes a law. I'll give you an example. Uh, Initiation into the Borough and the Sunday Society traditionally had a timeline. And that timeline was essential for the young people to understand the culture and the tradition. And by understanding the cultures and the tradition, when you are told, you see that river here, don't go there Friday, 12 o'clock or 1 o'clock in the day. People who grew up, have been to Poro Society or Sunday Society in that locality, understand why they should not go there. Or they tell you, say, you see that river, yes, it not like stranger. So don't go there. Somebody will come and say, I used to swim in Morovia here. I give you an example of what happened in the 80s in Kuala. By then, in school of it, by then we had people who used to come from Ghana, Sierra Leone, and other countries to come teach in Liberia in the 80s. So we had, I think, Mr. Ufori or Owari or something, something. He said he used to swim well in Ghana. He come from Ifanti. He did that. And we have a river in Kulang called Keha. You now from there, you can't swim in that water. Except we, the children from there, say, can't let go swim. And so if you not from that place, you don't understand. And the man used to run behind people and beat people. So one day he follow, he go swim. He almost left there because he doesn't understand the traditions and the culture of the place. Don't go swim, and someone from that place got to call you before you enter that water to go swim. But then you go jump inside. So you're not from there. So this is what the state is doing. Similarly to what the story I gave you of the man, when he jumped in the water in Keha. That is what is happening today. The state is enacting laws and ratifying protocols that does not represent the interests of the of the people of Liberia. It's not part of our growing need according to Article 5 of the Constitution.
But how do you square that with the development of the area? Because like what you are saying, people will say, "Oh, those are old stories. These are superstition, and the rest of it, right?" And
Yeah.
if we want development, if we want to move forward, we have to
Mhm.
leave that kind of thinking and be able to develop. So how do we develop if we still hold on to those kind of customs and
Okay,
traditions?
so I want to tell you that this brings us to the heart of the question of understanding your culture and the benefits that it brings to you. Because, for example, you want to do a concession
Right.
of a protected area where it was preserved for the poorer. Now, you bring investor, they say they see gold there, or they see bauxite, or they see iron ore. Without you discussing with the traditional leaders, and there's this acceptance that okay, here is what how can the state want to use some of this mineral. There's what they call eminent domain, yes. But mind you, before the state of Liberia existed, Liberia was existing, and it was even part of the Mali Empire. And there were other smaller kingdoms that existed. And so, for you to go, because these are heritage, and that's why when in the traditional culture, it marks that you're not supposed to see. When you see it has consequences because the marks is the representation of the spirit world of our ancestors. Because for us Africans, when somebody dies in the African culture, it's not actually death. It's just moving to the other side of the world. And then that other side will now guide those who are alive through that medium of the marks, whether won or not. The chiefs are always the representation of the living and the dead. And that's why we have, apart from the chiefs, we have traditional leaders. Mind you, a chief naturally sometimes is not the head of the poro, or the mommy queen who is in charge of the market, this that is not the head of the Zoe women. The absolute authority for the women in that land is the head of the Zoe women. The absolute authority of that land is the chief Zoe. And that's why most of they don't take political positions, they don't take appointments. They don't traditionally they don't take appointment from government because they remain neutral. They are the heads and advise the chiefs or political appointees on how to administer the land. So there are times there are clashes because the chiefs are already on the payroll of the government. But then the traditional leaders are not receiving anything because they are the servants of the spirit word. So when the chief say, "Oh, the government say we must do this," then they will tell the chief, "Say, but you know that bush, a reserve, it's a protected area, it's a heritage area. They will not go there." So looking at that, if the government decides to use coercion by legitimacy, bring the police, bring like I gave you King Jaw, for example, or I gave you what is happening in Nimba, the mining that going on, or in Putu, what will happen in there? There are protected areas that no matter the interest of the state financially, the interest of the people, the culture of the people has to be protected. And in a balancing act,
Right.
in a balancing act, the state need to talk with them. What can we do? Let the people tell the state what to do. Because if the state does not have a proper discussion with the traditional people or the people who own the land, the state will find it difficult, or the concessionaire will find it difficult to be able to work in that place. For example, there are trees in Lofa and all over Liberia here that are not supposed to be cut. But during Taylor time, although he said he was part of the poor, but they were logging everywhere. Go Greenville. Go see the BB tree then that they cut. The logs. They stay laying and they not do nothing with it. But those trees were over 1,000 years. They were not supposed to be cut down. And when traditional leaders say, "Oh, don't cut down these trees, blah, blah, blah," they were saying no, they will cut it down. Then they go back and come back to the same thing the people are saying. They say conservation, don't cut trees, plant trees. They're coming back to the same global warming that the African customary justice system told people, don't cut that tree. It's not good. Our ancestors say, the spirit world say, when you cut these trees, it's not good. And they will cut it. Because why? They want money. What kind of money they want? Paper. They trade gold, which Mansa Kanka Musa and other kings use. And even Europe is reserving gold as their central bank reserve. They will cut down trees and they will desecrate spiritual sites in favor of taking gold to get them paper. At the end, sometimes they put sanction on them. The paper money they can't use it again. But they have also one thing, destroy the relationship with the community, and at the same time, the sanction on them, they can't use the money. So there's no wisdom in that. You see that the traditional, yeah, go ahead.
No, I said so. The big question now is how can Liberia pursue economic modernization while safeguarding its rich cultural traditions? How do we do that?
Okay, there's a there's one of the best ways to do it is uh doing environmental and cultural impact assessment. Now we have EPA, yes, EPA can do environmental impact assessment, but are we doing cultural impact assessment? No. There's no government on record in Liberia that has ever done cultural impact assessment, because you have to sit with the cultural people and find out. We got 6 rivers here. People want to do dredging for gold. Which of the rivers we should not touch? If the government goes through that and talk to the people, they will tell them. But what is happening? Somebody noticed that go somewhere, they will just count lands and mines and explain, say, give us permit. They go, they start dredging. And mind you, the traditional people, they're not using hand pump. They rely on natural filtration. So by the time you start to use mercury and other chemicals in that water, while you mining gold, you are slowly introducing poison into their system. You destroy the ecosystem, the fish, the other things that are supposed to exist to purify the water, to keep it healthy for the people. You start to damage it. And that's the reason why you see there are lots of sicknesses that never existed before. Because people, they are not discussing with the traditional people. Once they get license, government say you get license, they go there, they start to mine. You go to concession areas where
But why is
certain
this? Why
rivers,
is this?
mountains, trees, they're not supposed to cut down, they are cutting it down for money.
That's what I'm saying. Why is this happening?
Mhm.
So let's be a little more practical now, because what you are expressing is happening parts of Liberia. Let's use the Bay Mountain where they operate in King George, for instance.
Yeah.
Just before the show, I think I read something Sandro Wynn was saying, almost saying the same thing that I think the senator from Cape Mount
Mhm.
was thinking about calling for this thing that, hey, here are the situations the people are going through, but no one is listening. Okay, there was a time even the local population started to protest. I think 2 or 3 young people lost their life. So why do these things continue to happen? I mean, is it that we don't know? Is it that they are not someone like Sandro Wayne or you saying no, it shouldn't be this way? Why? Why do we continue to experience this?
It's a combination of all the factors mentioned. You know,
Mm,
Africans have been brainwashed to believe that our culture is bad. And so that's the reason why even the Marx, they call it devil.
mm,
So the Christianized people, you as Dennis, for example, will call Flomo. They take small water, they put it on your head 3 times. Or they put you inside water. Every day you go and swim to table, they put you inside water, they brainwash you to believe now that you Dennis, you no more Flomo. So you now will start to doubt the legitimacy of the protection that was given to you by your great grandparents in by through the traditional means. Say, oh, let's pray and invoke the spirit of our ancestors. You say no, 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 that one, that demonic thing is not correct, it's not okay. But when you go to church, you invoke the blood of Jesus who has died 2,000 years ago. So what's the difference? Is your mind.
mm.
According to Professor Wayne Shoenka, in Things Fall Apart, he said the things that hold us together, a knife has been put between.
Achebe, Chinua Achebe.
Yeah. Chinua Achebe, yeah. A knife has been put between. So that is how they succeeded in changing the minds of the people. And Okonko wanted to remain a traditionalist, and other people wanted to move on. And so most of the time, when the people come, they look for the outcast, people who have committed crime against culture. And so they are readily available to give information about that culture, and then they can just do anything. But in actual fact, the state, I want to give this information because it's from my doctoral thesis. And this is recent research things I'm telling you about. NATO, the Western Defense Alliance,
Mhm.
they fear two societies in West Africa. The Poro Society and the Como Society is the two most powerful ones in the Sunday Society. They want to destroy them because that's the only last remaining one that is powerful. Because they hold now the secret power. It was the Poro that defeated the British in the hot tax war in Sierra Leone. The Poro is in Liberia, Sierra Leone, Guinea, Ivory Coast, within this Mano River belt. And it is the single most powerful institution that defense analysts or public policy analysts are researching on how to close it down. Once they succeed in closing the Poro and the Sunday, we don't have a culture. We have nothing to unite us. They will just finish away with us with any form of information. And that's the reason why some of us who have learned to that level, I know it. I've attended seminars in London, in other places, in France, in Sweden. Those universities do research, and we are that are researchers. They invite us, and we go. We do our input, and I challenge most of the things, especially this aspect called harmful traditional culture. There's
And
nothing
that
harmful in our culture. Nothing.
and that's what I'm coming to that next. I just wanted to make mention of a few things that you said concerning the like the forest or just the land, say the bush.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I come from an area in Sino where we have the Sapo National Park. That
Okay.
it runs from almost Grand Gide all the way to the end of Sino. And in that, you are not supposed to hunt animals, you are not supposed to do X, Y, Z. But and so people, the forester, the officers will arrest people who kill, and that this is the people livelihood. And if you are not replacing it with anything, what do you expect them to do? Now the rivers they go in for drinking water and do other things. The mining gold and mining other things. The water is dirty. So as you are saying this is what I'm thinking about. In
Yes.
Asalometer,
Yeah. So let me come.
people.
Let me come in. It's a crucial thing that
Mhm,
Africans are beginning to forget. Conservation started with Africans, and I'll give you an example from Lofa and from Bon County. The traditional people, the Paro Council, will consult the spirit world, and the spirit world will say, for 2 3 years, nobody must go hunting and kill so animal, and I say groundhog that can eat your rest. So they will allow the replenishment of the forest, and that's why when people farm after some time, they do this rotational farming and allow you to go farm in other places so that you don't kill the natural uh, uh, uh,
mhm.
uh, uh,
Habitat.
composition of the soil,
Mhm,
wherein you will have to use fertilizer. And for each time a fertilizer is used on the soil, it kills the natural composition of that soil
the
when you do
nutrient.
the next soil analysis. And so, what is happening in Sino is what is happening all over Liberia. Like I said, they will just give license without doing cultural assessment or even this environmental impact assessment. It's not properly done. Liberia here, they can bribe. Once they give money to somebody, the person will say, no, they can do that thing and not get no impact. We were doing conservation before they brought that thing for the Sapo National Park. It was
Mhm.
existing. Our traditional
Yeah.
people, when you go to the records, the chief zoo for the Bodio or the Bo and all the societies used to pass law, nobody hunting for certain time and certain number of animals. Don't hunt this one. You can hunt the other one, but don't hunt this. If you hunt that animal, you kill it, they see it, they will take it from you and they will fine you.
Mhm.
And so people went by those rules without having to say, I'll jail you, I'll put you. I'll do you this. It wasn't happening
No,
because
no,
people when they go
you have a
through.
point because if you brush one place, you have to take 7 years before you come back to find that same spot.
Yes.
At that point, there's replenishment. This is something that I've observed when I was growing up. But let's come to so yeah, conservation. You have a point there. Those things existed. That hey, don't do this. You are not supposed to farm here. You are not supposed to. Like for those of us who eat palm cabbages, the palm cabbage from palm tree sometimes for some time will be outlawed. You don't do it because if you cut the cabbage from the palm tree, it's dead. But let's go to another. Now in the house, they were debating about harmful traditional practices. Do you disagree that with all tradition, because every society evolves? So some traditions have some harmful practices. Why don't we get rid of them?
What do you call harmful traditional practice? How many people a K? How many people a K?
So, are you suggesting every tradition is perfect?
It's not perfect, but we have lived with it. The Western society is not perfect. They created guns, and the people die on the street. Count how many people die in America per year. It's not more than some war zone. Look at some of the if you are a black, I dare you some places you don't stand there. The mob will kill you. I went to school in England. I'm still in school. I've been in between uh, uh, going to school in England for the past 20 years. I know that place well. I know Europe well. I know America well. The reality is, if they tell you harmful traditional practice, they are trying to ban the Sunday society from existing. There is nothing called harmful because our people, our great grandmothers did that, and our grandmothers survived, and they gave birth to our mothers, and our mothers gave birth to us. Before they came, let me give you one example. Before those people had knife and razor blade, you know, reeve. Do you know a reeve?
Yeah.
No, not the reeves in Basel. The reeve in the bush to cut.
Yeah. I know that.
All right. For practices, society members know what I'm talking about. The reeves were cut and they hang it over fire in the kitchen where they can dry the meat.
Mhm.
They understand that sterilization will take place as long as a hanging over smoke. Those reeves they design into a knife is sterilized. Even for childbirth, they use it to cut the placenta, and the child is not infected with tetanus. And for example, under the hygienic rules of traditional culture, they will tell you, say, your slipper or your foot, don't put it on that rack because that's where the cooking from. When you put your foot there, your foot, your groin will swell up. It naturally wouldn't swell up. What they are trying to tell you is, when the women cooking, when they open the pot, that where they can lay the pot up. So don't put your foot there. Africans discuss issues in coded language, and that encoded language is in our societies and is represented by the marks, and the marks is owned by the society, and the society is owned by people, and the people are owned by the society. And that's
So,
why.
so what? So, yeah, I want to hear your advice on because this discussion is going on right now in the legislature about harmful traditional practices, and women who themselves were part of that society are coming up to say, "Hey, there are certain things that we need to graduate from. There are certain things that we need to get rid of, and there are certain things we need to keep."
Okay, so here's the thing. If the Senate want me to provide additional information, they should invite me. They have invited me to the Senate before to give them guidance on the War Crime Court. So if they want me, let them send me a letter. I'll come and I'll look at the areas that they want clarity, I can be able to clarify for them and guide them based on the knowledge that we have and looking at the culture on that side. Like I said, the Como society in Mali and the Poro society and the Sunday society remains the most powerful society in Africa now. And once they are able to succeed to close it down complete, done, Africans don't have any protection because your culture is the means of your protection. So I'm not saying they know what they call harmful traditional practice, but if it didn't care our great grandmothers, our great great grandmothers, it didn't care our great great grandfathers, I don't see where it's going to completely wipe off our generation. Because even laws they make on that side, it's not perfect. The inventions they
Yeah.
make is not perfect. They tell you say
So
the country medicine not good, but these are the same herbs they take and they do scientific research on it and reproduce it and sell it to us. So what happened to the African mind? Are we blind?
So how do we marry the two, right? Because these things they got to be written down. So that, like, bro, because if we understand the tradition and also understand the jurisprudence, for the lack of better word, in the legal system, I
Yeah,
mean,
in
we
the
can merge the
jurisprudence.
two.
Yeah.
We
So
can
so
merge the
here's it.
two.
Yeah. So this is actually part of my doctoral thesis, like I said, on looking at how the synergy between the Western legal system and the traditional justice system, which I have written extensively on. It's not only Liberia, the whole of Africa and around the world, customary justice system around the world, how it operates and how effective it can work in a dual system, wherein you give opportunity to the people to do what we call justice forum. Where you want to go, you can go there with your case. Where you choose to go, you go there with your own case, if that's what you know. So basically, those who are Christians and so on, they can choose to go. So, and that's why you have in some countries you have the Sharia law, like in northern Nigeria, because they are Muslims and that's what they believe. They're using the Sharia law. And for us in Liberia and a few other countries, we have customary justice system. Even in Nigeria, there are other areas that are not using the Sharia law, but they are using the customary legal system. So concurrently, all of those laws can work as long as it provides means of stability for the states. Because the more people become dissatisfied with their access to justice or access to their rights, it ferments hate for the state, and anything can blow up.
So what you are describing, to what extent do we have this in other West African countries?
Nigeria has an improved customary justice system. Like even you take Somalia, they are using it, dual legal system. There are other countries, even Kenya, using it. So I have looked at number of countries, and so all what they did was continuously research and improve it
But that's
to
my
to
point, right?
work.
Improving. You you,
Yeah.
you sound like you don't want
So
improvement.
no, not that I don't want improvement, but there are certain aspects that they want us. You cannot have an effective customary justice system when you outlaw the Sunday society or the poor. Nothing remains because they are the backbone or the bodio or the Bo society. Once you outlaw them, you don't have a custom.
So
Once you
let's go
outlaw
back.
them, you don't have a customary justice system because they are the foundation and the backbone of that law.
But can these laws too have, because we're talking about legitimacy, can the traditional laws have legitimacy in the urban areas?
We Here is what is important. The urban areas are being administered by statute, laws
Right.
passed by parliament and promulgated. So in the western area or in the urban areas, you will always have the predominance of the statutory law. But if you take the statutory law, for example, you go to areas where like Buto or even Campley, or you go like in Bon County, some areas, or even in Sino, or you go Buto, you think that law that work in Morovia, that oh, this law will work here, it doesn't work there perfectly because they see that as alien to the traditions. So some of
Yeah,
the
but
laws, for example,
since
for-
yeah, go ahead because I was going to talk about like child marriages. Someone 13, 14 is getting married. You say let you boot up for example, or do some in Nimba County or Paye in Lofa County. Okay, our laws will say this person is underage. So
okay,
how do we?
traditionally yes, the tradition accepts that 14 years in by tradition, if you know the way Sunday society used to be practiced, when girls are 14 they go to the Sunday, by the time they come in the 16 they can marry, which the customary law in Liberia accepts, that at 16 you can marry. So marrying at 16 is not wrong, it's accepted by law. Girls can marry at 16. Yes.
Traditional law.
The only thing, yes, you can marry at 16. What you can do at 16 is having unlawful carnal knowledge. That's an old law. Having an affair with a girl, whether penetrations to the slightest degree under the rape law, the new rape law, it shouldn't happen. But if you marry her, no, it's not a crime until
But now
she's
our
18.
statutory law will call it a
Mhm.
crime, right?
No, no. If you marry the girl
Mhm.
at 16, the statutory law does not have any influence over that. She's married at 16. It's in the law.
Yeah, I don't know that.
But if you don't
Yeah,
marry her, then the rape law will apply if you have anything to do with her at 16.
and
The
that's part
reason
of our
why our traditional
that's part
people
of our
were
penal
making
code. I
huh?
said that is part of our penal code. You can marry at 16.
Yes, under the customary justice system in Liberia, under the customary law, yes, at 16.
No, I'm talking about
I have
our
reviewed all those
legal
laws.
system.
Yes, I have reviewed all those laws. I drafted the domestic violence law for
And
Liberia. So I review all the customary law, 1998 customary law. I've reviewed the rape law. I've reviewed several laws for Liberia. Yes, you can marry at
so right now
16. A
in
girl
Liberia,
can marry at 16. Yes, a girl can marry at
so
16,
right now
except
in
they have
Liberia, you
repealed.
can go to the court,
That is what
right?
I know in the law, except they have repealed it. But
So
at 16, yes, you can marry. But what you
okay,
cannot do at 16 is if she's not married, you cannot have an affair with her. You'll be charged for statutory rape. But if you marry her at 16, yes, that's your wife. It's accepted because of the customary
so you can take a 16-year-old.
tradition.
One second.
Yeah.
You can take a 16-year-old to the court in Monrovia and get married to her.
No, you have to do it through the customary justice system.
Is
No, not through
all
the
the
court here.
customary
Not through,
system.
yeah, through the customary justice
So
system. Internal affair get customary court.
anyway,
So if there's a case, you go there to adjudicate, but
yeah, yeah.
they can marry through the customary just system at 16, yes. But if you now marry her, anything you do that's statutory rape until she's 18.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you're just joining us, this is Focus on Libra. We are live on Kear Radio. We'll open our phone lines and James will administer announce our numbers in Morovia so we can get some feedback. So can Liberia now serve as a model for harmonizing indigenous governance and international legal standards? Or or how can we do that?
Yes, it's
The
possible.
international
Liberia,
standard you were saying, hey, you said
yeah,
they can go and sign these protocols when they come to do X, Y, Z.
yeah. So here's the thing. Um, Liberia can be one of the countries that have improved in the way they administer international protocols or domesticating international protocols into our legal system. So there's a way you can synergize it. Like I said, they need to do uh, the same way they do environmental impact assessment. You can do cultural and uh, and customary justice system analysis on what impact signing certain protocols will have on the culture of the people of Liberia. So you need to work with the people. If the government wants to have good relationship with the people in the communities where predominantly is they practice the culture, the government has to work with them. Additionally, so the NGOs or the companies that are going there, it's not only the government, even the police. If you send the police to go work in those places, and that's why the police and security services should understand the history of the environment and begin to incorporate that into their modules for training of officers. Let people know what kind of tradition exists in a community, and always by the time they want to post, like officers, you can't just take them and say, "Go Nimba." I can give you an example. If you just take somebody from uh, Bassa and you send him to Gray, going Tapeta with all that end, and say he's CID man, there's a murder that happened, you must go investigate. He will not get nothing from there because he doesn't understand the culture. So there are certain things that I don't care how you investigate, you would never see it because you are not working with the traditional leaders. You don't understand the culture, so you will not get nothing.
We'll
I
talk
know
about
of,
how.
Mhm. Go ahead.
Hi, my name is Addie Tyler from Pennsylvania, and you're watching Focus on Liberia.
How do we move forward? But before keep that, let me bring in our producer at Kear Radio to announce our local numbers.
Okay, so the numbers to call are 077795959, 077795959, 0881871670, 077795959, 0881871670, 0881871670. We have someone on the line already. Welcome, let's hear you. Good evening.
Yeah, good evening. How are you?
I'm fine. Neiman, where have you called from?
Yeah, my name is Clinton. Today I am calling from Freeport Community.
Okay, please go ahead.
Yeah, thank you so much. I want to at least congratulate the would-be doctor in the studio. I am interested in having his personal number because I want to do a publications with him. He's well grounded in cultural values because what holds us together is our culture.
Mhm.
If we let our culture go, meaning we abandon our own system to acculturate a system that will not at least bring us together as one people or one African. So the reason being using that particular thing in the word of parliament, like to abandon harmful traditional systems, to us, some of us, we ask a question, what is harmful about our traditional practice? Because these harmfulness have been in the pre-colonial system. Our parents have been practicing this culture for a long period of time till now. When you check the time, it's about 40 to 50 years ago. And they have never suffered through from the harmful tradition and practice that they are talking about. And those harmful tradition and practice is actually our secret society, which is one of the key things that hold us together as Africans. So if we allow at least poverty and other issues to at least move out our culture from our own society, meaning we have nothing that we call African again. So if we could have this such and energetic would-be doctor in the studio, I believe that we have a lot of things at least to do as Liberian and as an African for us to maintain our culture, because that is what we inherited from our people, definitely. So I appreciate the program so much, and I'm kindly with the doctor, and I need his personal number because I want to have a publication with him with regards on the impact on traditional system with regards to our governance system, please.
Okay, thank you. So currently we have another person. Welcome, let's hear you. Good evening. Uh, okay, good evening, welcome.
Good evening, Kear Radio. Good evening to the analysts in studio.
Okay, please go ahead. Your name and where have you called from?
Okay, thank you for the recognition. For the public, my name is Mohammed, and I do join the conversation from West Point to be precise.
Okay.
Okay, first of all, let me appreciate your studio guest. I think and I listened and attentively and I learned a lot. So when you talk about the issue of the customary law and that of, first of all, I want to understand what is democracy in concurrence to what you just said about the chiefs and that of the law of the state. Democracy is a government by the people, for the people, and of the people. So I do believe it is not all laws that is meant by the government that can be applicable out there in our rural areas. But you see, sometimes what can bring up the problem is that the issue of force, the issue of being careless of knowing what would be what the action would be on the impact of the people. These are kind of a thing that really we need to work on. But I do believe, and I want the government, whenever they are taking such decisions, it should be in concurrence, in accordance with the law of our tribal people, or of our rural laws. You understand? In that, I believe that we will work. And also, it is not everything that the international community, put into law that yes, indeed, we African or Liberians, to be precise, should be able to accept overwhelming without, understanding the consequences behind those things. So thank you very much.
Okay, thank you so kindly. Keep listening. 0777 959 959 0777 959 959 0881 871 670 0881 871 670 0777 959 959 0777 959 959.
Thank you. Dr. Sharif, you heard the callers, and then please respond for them.
Yeah, I just want to say thank you to them because at least they
There's
understand
another
that.
person here. Can I take the person?
Yeah,
Yes,
sure.
go ahead.
Welcome, let's hear you. Good evening.
Good evening.
Your name and where have you called from?
This is Alex calling from New Jersey, Carway.
Okay, please go ahead.
Yeah, I want to first of all commend your studio guest for the explanation, but I have a question
Okay.
in regards to the customary marriage. When you made mention on the 16 years old. So, like you said, 16-year-old, you can marry a 16-year-old under the customary marriage. That will not be the way, but I want to know what is applicable to the rural places or in the urban area. Yeah, that's a question I want to get clarity on.
Okay, keep listening. You will
Okay,
respond to
so
that.
from the research and what I know about the customary, the Equal Rights of Customary Marriages Law of 1998 allows that you can marry a woman at 16 under the customary traditional marriage act. So at 16, yes, in the customary setting. But if you don't marry her, you get anything to do with her, you will be going against the new rape law of 2006. And so the girl has to be 18.
Okay.
If that Morovia here, you want to do your thing, she got to be 18. But if they're in the interior, you marry her at 16, that's fine. That's marriage.
So there's another person on the line. So let me take this person. Welcome. Let's hear you.
Hello. Hello, how are you?
I'm good. Your name? Where have you
Uh,
called from?
my name remains Paul Gono from Davisville New Line Community. Actually, I want to be thankful to the video girl this evening. But what all you say is true. More especially, I was speaking with Poro Society and the Senate Society because
We unfortunately he went off. So
Okay.
let's announce the numbers again: 077795959, 077795959, 0881871670 are the numbers to call, and let's hear from you on the program. Focus on Liberia.
So James, you are in Morovia, and the debate in the legislature about harmful traditional practice. What's being talked about? About this in the streets. What are people saying?
Do you mean specifically the FGM,
Yeah, they
female
say
genital
harmful traditional practice, and we know they're
mutilation?
talking about FGM.
Yeah, okay.
Do people actually care? And what are they saying?
Yeah, people care about that because it is very important, especially considering that Liberia has signed several, international laws that forbids, these acts. But that issue has been in the public, especially on social media, that I've observed for the last few weeks, especially when it was brought up again by former Miss Liberia Woki Dodo. She called for the total ban on the practice, and she support the some of the lawmakers who are pushing for this to be banned on the president. But then one of the things Liberians are saying is that this is our culture, and they are saying this is Liberia's tradition. So we should not allow the the practices of the Western culture to overcome or overtake whatever we do here. So we have our unique culture that defines us, that points to our roots and where we come from. So some are saying that there's no need for them to ban, except that it should be done by consent. The children should not be on age when they go through the process, or rather they should be of age like 18 and above, and then the act is being done to them. But some people believe that this is Liberia's culture or our tradition, and we must protect it, while others believe that it is against the will of the girls who are being affected, and as a result, when they go out there in the future with their husband or any person they meet, they face series of negative feedbacks from people. So they are calling for the end, while on the other hand, Liberians believe that
Can
this
I
is
come
our
in?
culture, we should protect it.
Yeah, let me finish. So James, because if we consider this as school, right?
Mhm.
People are also saying if we don't get consent from children before we send them to preschool, K1, K2, why do we get consent from children to send them to the Sunday school? People giving that as a counter argument?
No, I've not really seen that, but
Okay.
one of the things, as I mentioned, is that if, for example, right, you get rid of this practice. Okay, let's agree, get rid of the practice. Some are saying, what about the issue about the seeing homosexuality in our country that is gradually growing up? What about that? Why are we embracing these things, and then rather trying to eradicate something that defines, or something that helps the the younger girls to come up, teach them basic home economics or basic working in the home, how to become a mother, and something like that. Yeah, those are things they are saying.
Thank you. Dr. Sharif.
Yes, that's a similar question I wanted to ask. Do we need the consent of the children to go to daycare or to go to school? No. So, in England and abroad, in other countries, in France, they have their culture. The Americans do have their culture. Go to Texas, the Red Indians, they have their culture. Everywhere around the world, they have their culture. Even the aspect of virginity is part of the culture of us in Liberia, in West Africa. Virginity is a part of our culture. They are not preaching that positive value of it. But what they believe that is right, in their opinion, very soon you will hear someone saying about family, because abroad, when you say family, your cat, your dog is part of your family. When I was drafting the domestic violence law for Liberia, somebody who came, another lawyer from another country, told me, say, Sherry, you got to add cat and dog. I said, no, in Liberia, cat and dog, they're not part of family for us. No. And then they also told me, say, oh, add spousal rape. There I say, if I should add spousal rape under this act, where do you put conjugal rights of a man? The conjugal rights. So all of these things, like I said, is an international conspiracy to get rid of the Sunday, the Poro, and the Como society, which hold the Africans together.
Thank you.
Culture, we can modify it of our own, but it should not be imposed on us. So that is one of the areas of legitimacy. Anything the government force on the traditional people, the government will not be legitimate in the eyes of the traditional people because they will not go by it.
Thank you. Jim, you have a question or comment? If not, we can go to Mr. Dr. Sharif for his closing because we want to see the way forward. But let me hear from you first, James.
You said, I didn't get that part. You said what?
No, I said, do you have any question or comment?
No. Okay.
All right.
I can answer the numbers again, right? Because I think somebody was calling, but then
okay,
we went
yeah,
up the
please
line.
go ahead.
Let me announce it again. 0777 959 959 0777 959 959 0881 871 670 0881 871 670. Okay, somebody's here. Welcome. Let's hear you.
Yeah. I was on the line, but I clicked on that.
Okay, please go ahead.
I would like to speak on the people understanding. You know, this people understanding is something that our parents uses to govern themselves, to run the community. Also, the same people there to go to school. When you go in the poor society, you come from there, you can't just stand out and talk certain things that you're supposed to talk. On day one, you have a neighbor. I'm a man for neighbor. So they use that to control the district, the clan. And they use that to discipline people. If you're a rude child, they send you there. Or a rude girl, they send you there, you come from there. Your attitude will change. Because any mistake you do, that Pharaoh's devil will come after for you and it will be okay. Because people run away from it. And the Western people, they just bring their culture in and try to force it on our people. And sometimes they say, oh, they send it to society, they make the female this, that today. Children are not going to spend it. But see them all over on the street to allow whatsoever. See them today. And our parents went there today. They are respectful. They know the value of women. They are in very women. So we shouldn't mind the Western. They shouldn't doing that to condemn our culture. And when we condemn, we are nowhere. We have no culture.
Okay, thank you.
That's my.
Another person here. Welcome. Let's hear you.
Yeah, good evening once more again.
Okay, go ahead, please.
Yeah, it's Clinton on the line. With regards to FGM, Just a quick one, quick input. In the first place, our culture, we want to design that name that they gave us, the FGM. It's not FGM. We should be calling it at least FGD. It's female genital design, because our cultural people, they design it very well. So if they are saying mitigations, the word mitigations, it has two negative impact as well on our cultures, on our very self, looking at the dictionary meaning of mitigation. So meaning we hold our culture into high esteem. So instead of FGM, it's FGD. It's female genital design, because we trust our culture and we are not even ready to at least let our culture go. So we'll fight together unanimously and we agree and we still hold on our culture. Thank you so much, Doctor. But I still need your private number. I want to do a publication together with you.
Okay,
thank you.
so
Ask the studio.
perhaps okay, yeah.
He should ask the studio for my number.
Yeah, James, you can share with the caller after the show.
All right, no problem.
All right, Dr. Sharif, we've covered a lot. How do we move forward? Liberia, somebody will tell you we are preoccupied with a lot of things. Many things. Even today, if we were talking about the MCC scope card, place will be full, right? Because people are carried away, they are more in tune to political events happening, breaking news, right? How do we make this, first of all, part of our everyday discussion so that people understand, begin to act? Some may say, well, we have many things to tackle. This cannot be a priority. What do you say to them as we close? Let me get our way forward.
Okay,
How do we move forward?
so as a means to move forward, people need to understand that uh, the Western legal system, which is based on the adversarial, hopes people put them in jail, punish them, punishment system. The customary justice system is not basically based on punishment system. It's based on rehabilitation of the offender and reintegration and the harmony of society. And now the Western jurisprudence is now moving away from putting people in jail a lot of time to now seeing how they rehabilitate people. You see that they even abroad they can free people now from jail much sooner than the way they used to be. You see, they're putting people on probation because they know that the prisons are filled. And it's not helping, it's not reforming, it's not changing. And for us not to, Liberia already, if you check the central prison, it filled. How you go put somebody in jail for chicken, rooster that he steal? All of that happening. Somebody steal goat. Instead of selling them, if that traditional way, that man go and work on the farm whole day, then he might will get the chicken back. So next time he will go work on the cheap farm or the community farm. Then you free the person. But here you will see the person go suffer 8 years, 5 years. He in remand for chicken. That's not helping. The essence of this discussion is not only because we don't want we want to resist the Western approach. No, we want to improve our legal system in a way that it befits us, that we are able to live in peace and harmony instead of always getting people to go to bed feeling that their rights have been abused and there's no form of redress. Something happened to you, you don't get nowhere to go because when you carry your case to court, you don't get money, you not get justice. So if we improve the traditional system, you can go there with your case and they will listen to it. And it will be, you don't need to pay a lawyer, that yourself will explain your case. and the judge will hear it and people will hear it and cut the case. You need to pay lawyer. So it has a lot of advantage if we improve the customary justice system. Yes, we may have, due to urbanization and change in technology and so on, information accessibility and so on. Yes, there are things that we need to modify to suit the culture of the Liberian people, but not to suit the culture of the outsiders. People should not impose their culture on us. We should be able to maintain the values that we have. So on this note, while I close, I still want to repeat my contribution to this platform is not on behalf of the ANC. So I don't want anybody to think that I came here to speak on behalf of the ANC. No, I came to speak as a Liberian and discussing my doctoral research contribution that it will do to the world, not only to Liberia. So I want this to be clear. The ANC has people to do their talking on their behalf, not me. Because the political leader made a list of who should do X, Y, and Z. And Dr. Mohammed Sharif named not on that list. So I am not speaking on behalf of ANC. I don't want people to think that I'm representing ANC. I'm representing myself and the interest of Liberia. Thank you.
Thank you. Next week, this same time, Mohammed, Mr. Ahmed Salif will be my guest. And Salif is the party chairman of the PAP. That's the People's Action Party. So he's just being certificated, and he's going to come here to make the case what sets the PAP, the ruling party, apart from the ruling party and the former ruling party. People sometimes see them say, oh, PAP, that is auxiliary of this party or that. So it's coming to on a policy level. Not how they look, not who the chairman, not who the political leader, but on policy level, what the PAP represents and what they're going to do differently. PAP as an alternative. Join me right here on Focus on Liberia when I will talk to Ahmed Salif, the chairman of the newly certificated People's Action Party. Dr. Sharif, thank you very much for your time. We appreciate you. Want to also thank our folks at Kear Radio, James Walkway and the team for staying with us. I want to thank our viewers for also focus on Liberia. It's where you need to be, where we educate, we elevate, and promote all things Liberia. Until then, we're going to close our broadcast with the song that says, we are all Liberians. Whether you believe that there are harmful traditional practices or not, what binds us together is that we are all Liberians and we should do our very best to make our country the glorious land of liberty. Have a good day and God bless you.
We are Liberians. Liberia is our home. Liberian people. Liberia.